It was the laugh that shattered everything. A sharp, careless sound that once felt like home, but now sliced through the rooftop bar's ambience like a shard of glass. I knew, in that instant, that something fundamental between us was about to break. It wasn't just a laugh. It was a performance, a warning bell that echoed across the glittering city skyline, and its target was me. "Go on, Lisa," her colleague urged, his glass raised in a toast, a grin plastered on his face. "Tell them about Mark and the washing machine incident." A smirk played on her lips, her eyes shimmering with a cocktail of wine and the room's undivided attention. "Oh, you mean the time he nearly fried himself because he watched one YouTube tutorial and declared himself a master repairman?" The table erupted in laughter as she embellished the story, her hand casually brushing her coworker's arm in a gesture of shared, private mockery. It wasn't the story itself that stung. It was her tone, the condescending edge, the way she framed my honest attempt to be useful as a punchline for her polished friends. For a fleeting moment, I questioned my own sanity, wondering if I was just being overly sensitive. But then her eyes met mine for a fraction of a second, and I saw it all. A glint of smug superiority that screamed, "You're powerless to stop this." In that cold glance, I realized the woman across the table was a stranger wearing my wife's face. We were at some chic downtown venue, all glass railings and golden light, a world away from my own. I manage construction crews. My world is one of sawdust and sweat, my hands calloused from labor, not from shaking the right ones at corporate events. I never fit in here, but Lisa used to cherish that. She said she loved that I was real. Tonight, however, my reality was her comedic fodder. Every conversation was a new jab. My supposed flip phone, my ignorance of her work's nuances, my lack of modern aesthetics. With every peal of her laughter, I felt another brick loosen from the foundation of our marriage. I excused myself to the balcony, the cool night air a sharp contrast to the tightness in my chest. As I stared at the sprawling city lights, trying to rationalize her behavior as drunken carelessness, I heard her voice drift from inside. "He just looks so out of place," she said, her voice a low murmur. I told him he didn't have to come. A male voice added, "Not exactly the corporate type, is he?" And she chuckled. "No, but bless his heart, he tries." The pity in her voice was more devastating than any insult. Not love, not even kindness, just pity. When she joined me outside, wine glass in hand and a placid smile on her face, the charade was complete. "There you are," she chirped, leaning against the railing. Her sweet citrus perfume, a scent I once adored, now felt suffocating. "Don't be so grumpy. It's just how these parties are. Is that what you call it?" I asked, my voice dangerously steady. Joking, her brow furrowed. "What are you talking about? Mocking me? Making me look like a fool in front of your entire world?" Her expression hardened. "Oh, Mark, don't be so dramatic. It was harmless fun." "Fun?" My voice trembled with a rage I barely contained. "You think it's fun to dismantle the man who has stood by you for a decade?" Her lips thinned into a cruel line. "Maybe if you didn't make it so easy." That one sentence landed with the force of a physical blow. The drive home was a tomb of silence, the only sound the ticking of the engine and the phantom echo of her laughter in my head. I didn't sleep. Instead, fueled by a cold dread, I did the one thing I swore I never would. I went through her phone. What I found wasn't graphic, but it was worse. It was a blueprint of betrayal drawn in coded, flirty messages with a slick-haired coworker. Late-night texts, suggestive emojis, and one from him that read, "Don't forget our secret." The screen's glow illuminated an emptiness inside me that was absolute. The next morning, I sat at the kitchen table, her phone next to my coffee. When she came down, tired but unapologetic, she froze upon seeing it. "You had no right," she began, the color draining from her face. "After last night, I cut in. I had every right to know who I was married to." Her excuses were a pathetic cascade of lies and half-truths. It wasn't serious. She was lonely. I was too distant. I laughed, a bitter, hollow sound. "Lonely? You turn me into a public joke. Don't you dare speak to me of loneliness." Tears welled in her eyes, but I felt nothing. I think you should go, I said, my voice devoid of emotion. Stay with your sister, or him. I don't care. Just go. She packed a bag as I watched, a silent observer at the funeral of our marriage. The quiet that descended after the door clicked shut was heavier than any grief. In the following weeks, she sent a barrage of texts and voicemails, filled with apologies and claims of a terrible mistake. But all I could hear was that laugh, the sound that had stripped me of my dignity. 2 months later, I sold the house, unable to live with the ghosts in its walls. I realized that night, on the rooftop, I hadn't just walked away from a party. I had walked away from the version of myself who believed love could fix disrespect. Love doesn't always die in a fiery explosion of anger. Sometimes it just withers quietly in a devastating moment when the laughter stops feeling like music and starts sounding like a verdict. If this story resonated with you, please leave a comment below and subscribe to the Echo Tales YouTube channel for more.